Good morning. So it's just after 5 a.m. and I wanted to update you guys who haven't heard yet about the incident that we've had with our caravan. And so for those of you who are following on Instagram, you would have seen in real time just that whole process work out. And so a little bit of context, in the last 48 hours, we've had a bit of a full on journey, a full on ride. So where we live in New Zealand, we live in a city called Pororo, and where we were planning to head is to a place called Rotorua. So it's about a 6 hour drive. And so there's myself, there's my wife, there's our 4 children, so family of 6, and we have a caravan in tow. And so we left just before 8 a.m. In fact, we recorded a video on Instagram and just shared a story saying, yeah, we're about to embark on our family holiday, family adventure. We'll let we'll update you guys when we arrive. And so the plan was to leave nice and early, at least by 8 a.m. at the latest, so that we could make this drive, 6 hour drive, and arrive at our destination at least early afternoon and give us some time just to unpack and then enjoy just our time being here. And so we leave just before 8 a.m. and not even an hour's drive out of our city, the caravan axle snapped. And so it snapped on the main highway. So we're going 100 kilometers per hour. The axle snapped. All I heard was a bang and then a grinding sound. I looked behind me in my rear view mirror and all I see is sparks on the road. And so it's pouring down. It's windy. It's wet. It's a long weekend here in New Zealand. So the roads were very busy and all I see is sparks. And so we quickly pull over to the side. And I believe my first response to my wife was, and I asked her, can you recall what I said? And it was along the lines of, this is going to be fun. And it wasn't, this is going to be fun in like a sarcastic, like, oh, this is over. It was like, this is going to be fun. And the reason why is because we've come to a place where we understand God's promised rest, knowing that He makes all things work for our good. And so rest is not something you can manufacture. It's not something that you can just give a nice pep talk or motivational talk about. And so that was why my first response was, this is going to be fun, because I know that my good Father is good. He makes all things work for my good. And so something great is going to come out of this. And so anyway, we pull over to the side, snapped axle, it looks terrible. And we call one of the local tow trucks to be able to come and help and tow it to a local, hopefully a local engineer or mechanic. I call a local engineer there. They were so good. And they said, yep, bring it on in. It's all good. We'll bring you in, which is pretty amazing for number one, a Friday, so it's the end of the week, but also it's a long weekend. But they were just so gracious and they said, yeah, just bring it on in. And it was great. And so my family of 6, we're sitting in the car, it's pouring down, we're waiting for the tow truck. They said there'd be at least an hour, hour and a half. And so we're waiting there. And where we broke down was just outside a farm. And so we saw these 2 vans come down the driveway from the farm. They pull over and an elderly gentleman jumps out of his car and he walks over and he says to me and my family, you guys all come inside. We're going to make you morning tea. We'll dry you up. We'll keep you warm. You guys can rest here until this all gets sorted. And it was just the most amazing thing just to see, just out of nowhere, these 2 absolute strangers. So he was an elderly gentleman and his son lives with him as well. And so they took me and my family inside. They fed us. They dried us off. They played with my kids. They were just the most beautiful strangers, angels in disguise, 100%. And so hour goes by, the tow truck arrives, I'm able to go out, meet the guy, he gets the caravan on tow, takes it to the local engineer, I get to be with them, and they're just assessing it, looking at it all, and the engineer says, oh, I think we might be able to get this sorted for you today. And that was pretty amazing in itself. Like I thought, oh, I'm not sure that it's going to happen, I'm not sure if we're even going to make it to Rotorua, but it'll just be great to know if we can get this sorted or fixed anyway, even if it means we have to leave it there and we just go in the car and it just stays there for however long it takes. But anyway, the engineer says, no, I think we might be able to get this done for you. And so I head back to where my family were with these 2 beautiful men, and we just hung out. And 2, 3, 4, 5 hours go by, and the engineer calls and says, all right, your caravan is all sorted. We managed to get it done for you, which was just amazing. And so my family and I were able to jump back in the car, and we thank these, this father and son duo just for their love, their graciousness. And we head back to the engineer. The caravan is all sorted. We jump back in our caravan, and by this time it's about just after 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and we've at least got another 5 hours on the road. And so we jump in our car, hitch the caravan, and then we're on our way. And so long story short, we arrive here, I'm here now. I'm just in one of the kitchens here at the campsite. We arrived just after 10 p.m. that evening, and it was just an epic story to journey and watch. And what was really cool is that we documented this in real time. So on Instagram, under one of my highlights there, in fact, I'll create a highlight called Caravan, and you can just go back and you can see it all play out in real time, and you see the raw motion of it all. and just following that journey. But it was so good for that to happen and for people to watch it happen in real time. And obviously, a lot of our clients, our coaching clients, we shared it with them and they were praying for us. And one of them said at the end of the day, they said it was so good just to see, the Malalau family's day, but also to see the Snuggle Strategy, reality show just happening in real time. And it was just an amazing experience, because this is the thing, guys. You guys hear me talk about rest all the time, and I think some people think maybe I'm exaggerating it, or it can't be that good, or it's too good to be true, or it's just not that simple, not that easy. And yet, when this stuff happens, when rubber meets the road, everything comes to light in that moment. And so, like I said, our first response was, oh, this is going to be fun. Why? Because we understand God's goodness and promised rest. And so this is not some hype thing. This is not some motivational talk to make you feel good. This is a genuine reality that He invites all of us into. And so in some ways, it was epic that, yeah, we could get the caravan sorted. We could still be on our holiday. We could still be here with my family and all that. But what I loved most is that when rubber met the road, everything was exposed in that moment. And it revealed that we genuinely live in this place of rest, at least to this capacity. And it was awesome for us to just learn and discover and see for ourselves again, but also for other people to watch in real time and just to be encouraged by, but also just to experience God's goodness over and over and over, not just with the caravan getting fixed, but this father and son, complete strangers who took us in, fed us, dried us, took care of our family, and then the fact that we could get here, to our holiday, which we'd already planned for a long weekend. So it was just an awesome experience, and again, testament to God's goodness. So part of the reason why we're up here in Rotorua, by the way, is I running an event for my coaching clients. And so we had that event yesterday. And so you can imagine that, the pressure and even the fear that can try to grip some people when, they're supposed to be somewhere where people have taken time out of their long weekend. They're traveling from around different parts of the North Island to be here. And then your caravan breaks down and now you're not sure if you're going to make it. That can bring a lot of pressure and fear and worry for people. But like I said, we've come to understand His rest to the point where it was just like, this is going to be fine. Like, God is going to make this work one way or another. Why? Because He makes all things work for our good. He's just a good Father. And so we have come to know and genuinely not just understand mental assent, but really know He is a good Father. And so I want to share this with you, and I wanted to share this story. And for those of you who did watch it in real time, we had so much feedback and so many people just saying this was amazing to watch in real time. But we just, as I've always been doing with all these YouTube videos, everything I share, I don't share it to say, look at us, look at me. I share it to say, guys, this is something that He invites all of us into. And it's a genuine reality that we can all live in. It's not just for a select few. It's not just for some favored or highly anointed. It's for all. And so everything that I share, everything that I do, it's from the place and purpose of desiring to help people to live into this promised rest that I think a lot of us in the body and the church, we have forgotten, or we have complicated, or we've not even ever known. In fact, many of us are looking for this, but we don't know what it looks like, or we don't know where to find it. And sometimes we just don't even know what it is we're looking for. But as we gathered yesterday with a lot of my clients, and they invited a few friends, and we're sharing about just different elements of rest and letting go and God's goodness, many of them were saying, this is exactly what I've been looking for. This is what I've been trying to find, but I didn't know where to find it. And so this is the reality that we are all being called into, and that I believe the body is growing into in this time. I've shared in previous videos that rest and the resurrected life, the two parts that the body is being invited and nurtured into in this hour. And those who learn to live by rest and the resurrected life, they will steward this current age and this current hour in one of the best ways, one of the most beautiful ways that I think we'll ever witness. So this is one of the greatest times to be alive for Christ, and it's such a privilege to be alive in this time and in this hour. And I know so many people are seeing the doom, they're seeing the gloom, they're seeing the grim that's happening around the world, and so many people are just wanting God to rapture us out of there, or God bring revival just to clean it all up. Romans 8 says all creation is waiting for the revealing of the mature sons. It's not waiting for rapture or revival, and not against those things, but it's the wrong R word. It says it's waiting for the revealing of the mature sons. And here's the thing, you cannot manufacture maturity, and it's got to be a nature change, a change of your inner man, a change of your heart, a change of who you are, your being from the inside. And so while many people want God to do something from the outside, whether it's rapture us out of here or send revival, mature sons understand and know it's about our nature being changed, and that happens through intimacy, through oneness, from being with Him and through genuinely knowing Him, not just knowing about Him, but knowing Him. And so it's exciting to see that you and I as the body are being caught into this, and we're being invited into this, so that in moments where your caravan snaps at 100 kilometers per hour on a main highway in the middle of the rain and a busy long weekend, your good Father is still that good to take care of you and to redeem all situations and to make everything work for your good. even if it's to bring out an elderly father and his son to come out to nurture you, to feed you, to dry you, to play with your kids, as the engineers are willing to take your caravan in unbooked, without any appointment, and to sort you out, and then you get back on your road and you're able to arrive at your destination. Your good Father is so good, and He's that good. And so it's my heart, my desire that we would all grow, not just to understand the genuine promised rest that He's invited us into, but ultimately to understand His goodness and how awesome, how benevolent. When I say awesome in its truest sense. How benevolent, how loving, and how good your good Father is. So bless you.